guys, so today I'm going to talk about a couple of style mistakes that I have made that I have since fixed. And I know that this video is titled style mistakes, but this is very relative. I tried my best to come up with things that would be suitable for a lot of people, but the reality is that everybody has a different body and different taste. So what I may like or what I may consider a mistake is obviously going to be different from what you like and what you consider a mistake. So just keep that in mind. Please don't get offended. You know, this is just a happy video, happy little video. You guys can take it or leave it. So hiding my shoulders was actually something that I would do a lot. As I've mentioned before, I have broad shoulders. So if you have wide shoulders like me, what I noticed is that when I would wear things off the shoulder, it would make my waist look smaller because I'm accentuating my shoulders, so my waist is just going to appear even smaller than what it is. And if I wore pants that were a little baggier but cinched me at the waist and kind of ballooned out or draped out, it would give the illusion of like wider hips. So it gave even like it pronounced things a little bit more, and it drew the eye to certain things, and it just gave a more balanced look. So I just kind of learned to work with my proportions instead of hiding them. And it's not necessarily a mistake to hide things that are very prominent in your body. It's just that I think it's a lot healthier to understand how to make them work with your clothes. So there are certain basics that I wear, and the moment that I walk outside and I start sweating, they stretch out like crazy. I put the tank top on, and in the beginning of the day, it fits me perfectly. It's like fitted, nice, looks, you know, seamless and polished. And then the moment that I step outside, like 5 minutes into walking outside where I'm sweating and the humidity and everything, I don't know what happens to the shirt, but it just looks a hot mess. It has stretched all over the place. My bra's hanging out. It just does not look as good as it did in the beginning. So these are all things that I take into consideration now that I didn't before, and it can affect your overall look. You know, if you just, your pieces are just stretching throughout the day, it's gonna look different. So that was a mistake that I did before. Now I really take the materials into consideration, and when I'm buying basics and stuff like that, I try for them to have a little bit of stretch, or for them to be a material that I know just works very well throughout the entire day and sits very nicely on my body. Something that I wouldn't do before that I do now is experiment a lot more. And it makes style and fashion and like getting dressed much more fun. You know, when you start experimenting and you start working with things that maybe you thought wouldn't work for you or your body type, but you can actually pull off. Life is short. You should experiment, not too much. You know, you shouldn't overconsume or give in to trends too easily. But if there's something that you see that you're pinning a lot, if there's something you see you just keep saving on Instagram or on Tumblr or whatever, and you just keep gravitating and gravitating and gravitating towards it, chances are you really want that thing. You know, you might not be sure if you can pull it off or not. So it's happened to me a couple of times. There have been certain things that I just thought I couldn't really pull off. One of them was very chunky sandals. I first tested it out with my very inexpensive Birkenstocks, which are the ones that I'm wearing right now, these. And I loved them so much, and I would wear them so much that I decided to invest in a better quality pair that I can wear with like nicer clothes and stuff. And now I just wear this one like around the house. But not being afraid to try something. If you see that you're really gravitating towards something, try it out. Another big one, which a lot of you might know, is color. I rarely wore color. I still barely wear color, but now I'm not afraid to experiment with different colors. So by different colors, I mean just like blues, like denim blues and greens. I love like deep forest greens or olive greens or emerald greens. So I have a bag from Paul Paris, which I've talked about a bunch of times. It's like a deep forest green bag, and I'm obsessed with that thing. I love wearing it, you know, and especially since my style is so like minimal and neutral, it really brings a lot of interest into my outfits. So I kind of talked about this in my last style mistakes video when I said that you should experiment with sizes. Do not be afraid to go up. Do not be afraid to go down. You can achieve a very different look if you go up a size or if you go down a size in shirts and in pants. You know, worst comes to worst, you can just tailor your pants. But half the time I've noticed that when I go up a size in bottoms, it just looks better. Like, it looks a little bit more chic, it looks a little bit more effortless and comfortable. Especially with trousers and stuff, I like 9 times out of 10 when I buy trousers, I go up a size and I just think, okay, I can tailor them to fit me perfectly, but I would rather them be too big than too small. Another thing that I notice a lot when buying things that are too small, especially jeans, is that I get the kind of like creases, which is fine. You know, half the time I don't really care. But I noticed that when I stick to like my size, the size that I usually am, which is a 28, sometimes I get that and sometimes I don't. So that can be a good indicator if something's a little too tight on you. If it's like tighter on your thighs and it does like that weird crease. This is a story of my life because I have like thicker thighs. So half the time I have to size up because it would be too tight on my thighs or my hips, even though it fits me good on my waist or it's like loose on my waist. So there's nothing wrong with sizing up. There's nothing wrong with experimenting with sizes. We've all been through it. We don't want to go up a size because we feel like we've gained weight or whatever it is, and your clothes can just look so much better. You can actually look more balanced or like slimmer if you go up a size. And a lot of people don't think that. They think that if you get baggier clothes, it's just gonna make you look bigger. And this can happen if you wear baggy clothes on the top and baggy clothes on the bottom. But if you know how to style baggier clothes, this won't happen. Liking a trend, like I'll buy a trend, I wear it and I really love it, and then buying every single item from then on in that same style. For example, culottes, or like those shorter, like wider jeans or pants, were my jam. I still like them, but I purchased so many different pants, or like picked out so many different pants, like whenever I would collab with a brand or whatever, like I was very into that style. And I got to a point where I didn't have anything but culottes in my collection. Another thing is, I would only purchase jeans that were above my ankles. That was just like what I was very into back then. And I didn't really have anything longer. So then when I started experimenting with longer pants or like straight leg jeans, I ended up getting a lot more wear out of my jeans, and I was able to style them a lot more, and they were just more versatile because I can dress them up and down, as opposed to these things that just showed my ankle all the time. Sure, I still like them, but I didn't need every single piece that I had to be like ankle length or above my ankle, or, you know, things that made me look like I'm just ready for a flood at all times. Nothing wrong with that. I still own things like that, but I want to have variety in my closet. So from now on, I try to just stick to maybe 2 or 3 colors. Like if I really like a style, it's okay to purchase more than one thing in that style, but I'll try to go for different colors or fabrics and things like that. And I won't get more than like 3 pieces in that style, because trends are something that come and go, and you just don't know how long you're gonna like something for, you know. So the best thing to do is just not go crazy. So yeah, that's definitely maybe not a style mistake, but a purchasing mistake that I would make a lot until like pretty recently. For jewelry, if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I love gold. I've always loved gold jewelry. I still really love gold jewelry. And it wasn't until recently that I started experimenting with silver. And I actually think that it looks very good on my skin tone, especially when I'm a little bit more tan. So this kind of just goes with the whole experimenting thing. Experiment with your jewelry, try different colors. You know, if you don't want to go for silver, you can just do a color. You can experiment with colors like that as well. But when it came to like metals, I wasn't really mixing metals and I wasn't really wearing silver at all. And now I actually prefer the way that cool tones look on my skin. And I'm happy that I expanded my horizons and now I purchase a lot more silver jewelry. So I have a good collection of both gold and silver. So depending on what I'm wearing and like what my skin tone is throughout the year, because I definitely go from like very pale to pretty tan during the summer, I just experiment with the metals that I wear. So the reason that I'm bringing this up again, even though I talked about it in my last style mistakes video and I talk about it a lot, is because one of the main questions that I get on my channel is, what bra do you wear? And obviously undergarments is something that is so important. It is going to make or break a lot of your outfits. It's going to make you feel very confident in a lot of your outfits. And I'm not gonna get too into it because you can just check out that other video. But one of my favorite like bras, it's not really a bra, but things to wear as an undergarment is my Bristles 6 nippies, which are just these pasties that you put on and it just covers your nips and it's very seamless. And so they do make different kinds of like stick-on bras and stuff like that. These are the ones that work for me. Obviously, I don't have a lot going on in the chest department. If you have bigger boobs, there are other options for you, but undergarments are something that is incredibly important. Just wearing a bra that was super tight was a huge mistake that I would wear. I would feel super uncomfortable. It would get really hot and I couldn't get a lot of use out of the pieces in my closet because I had to make sure that they would work with the bra that I was gonna wear. So I wear a lot more backless things now and a lot like skimpier pieces, which is great for the climate that I live in. So I have been experimenting with hair accessories a lot because half the time I just don't want to deal with my hair. So whether it's clips, which are everywhere now and I just really love them, like the claw clips, I have a couple and I just pick my hair up when I don't want to deal with it and it still accessorizes my hair. It still looks like I put in more effort. I also really love the hard headbands that you can just put in your hair and call it a day. You can put pins in your hair, literally anything to accessorize your hair, especially if you're wearing or if you own a very minimal wardrobe. Accessories for your hair can really turn your outfit up a notch. So yeah, I would just avoid a lot of hair accessories. I would just stick to slicking my hair back or putting my hair up in a bun. So something that I was doing before was thinking that just because something was too big on me or too long on me or too short, that there was no remedy for it. And that couldn't be further from the truth. If there are pants that are too long, I can hem them. Or if they're too short, I can cut them and make them into like knee length shorts or something, which are everywhere now. If something doesn't fit me nicely on the waist, I can go and get it cinched on my waist. There's so many things that you can do. All you need to do is find a good tailor or a seamstress, or you can learn how to sew your own clothes. Like getting out of that mentality that, oh, I have no use for this. Obviously, don't become a hoarder. Like if you really don't like something, whether it's the print or it's too tight and there's no fixing it, donate it, give it away, or whatever it is. or sell it, but also understand that you can fix and alter your pieces and get even more wear out of them. Now, one of my favorite things to wear is menswear, whether it's a button-down shirt with like biker shorts or just a open button-down shirt with a crop top and like trousers. I love going to the thrift store and finding men's trousers and getting them altered and just styling them with my own clothes with like a fitted feminine top, and then you have like these structured menswear bottoms, and you'll be surprised how like put together your outfit can look if you just like experiment with the men's section. You don't have to go and buy anything. You could just go into your boyfriend or your husband's closet. You know, you can start with button-down shirts. Those are so versatile and so easy to wear. Clothes don't necessarily always have to be tight to be feminine. You know, you can still look very chic, very elegant, very feminine if you just mix your feminine pieces with more masculine pieces. Or if you want to go for a whole masculine look, you know, there's no gender in clothes. Like, just wear whatever makes you happy, wear whatever makes you feel good and confident. Now, I don't even, like, when I go to a thrift store, I don't even go to the women's section. And I don't really shop at stores. Like, the only stores that I go shop at are thrift stores. I do a lot of shopping online, but I also look at the men's section, like for cardigans, sweaters, like chunkier things that you could just throw over your outfit. I don't mind purchasing those things like brand new. Like, I love looking at the men's section. But for trousers and things that I know that I'm gonna have to get altered, I love going to the thrift store and just getting like super oversized trousers and just fixing like the length and cinching them at my waist or whatever vibe I want to go for. So yeah, you don't necessarily have to go and spend like $300 on a pair of trousers from the Frankie shop. Even though I love the Frankie shop, you can just go to the thrift store and make your own trousers. So yes, do not be afraid of the men's section. So that's everything for this video. And again, take everything that I said in this video with a grain of salt. Just because I considered something a mistake or I no longer do something, it's just what works for me and my body type and my personal style. These are just my opinions. I'm nobody to tell you what looks good on you or what doesn't, or what's in and what isn't. You know, who cares? Style should be fun, fashion should be fun, and you just have to understand your body and your style and do whatever makes you happy and confident and whatever works for you. So these are just my opinions and what works for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video.